just something that didn't fit. A straight edge under moss, a line where no line belonged. At first it was nothing, until I went back and found another. The strangler fix had grown around it without breaking it apart. Even after all those years, the surface hadn't moved. I remember scraping mud away with my hands, thinking I'd found an old foundation, then finding the corner and realizing foundations have buildings attached. I took photographs, filled 2 pages with measurements, packed everything away, and spent the next 3 days pretending I wasn't thinking about it. At first it was nothing, just something that didn't fit. A straight edge under moss, a line where no line belonged. At first it was nothing, until I started wondering how much of it was still hidden. I marked the location on my map, folded it into my notebook, and headed back to camp, knowing I'd come back. Second week I'd stopped being sensible. Every morning I'd make a list, finish the survey north of the river, label the samples from Tuesday, press the specimens before lunch, and somehow I'd end up back there again. Camp table was covered in plants, leaves drying between sheets of newspaper, specimen bags hanging from a washing line, everything I traveled there to do. Yet every evening the photographs came back out, and I'd spend another hour looking at stone. I kept telling myself tomorrow I'd leave it alone, tomorrow I'd get caught up, tomorrow I'd finish the work, then tomorrow would arrive and I'd find myself walking the same path through the trees. a specimen in 4 days. The survey was falling behind. The radio operator asked twice whether I'd finish the river section. I told him I was nearly done. That wasn't entirely true. An old wall, a foundation, a survey marker. None of them lasted very long. Not once I started measuring. Not once I started digging. Spoken to Thomas in months, but by then I was already planning the conversation. I'd show him the photographs first, then the measurements, and if that didn't work, I'd take him there myself. Kept waking before sunrise, expecting rain on canvas and insects outside the door. Instead there were buses, people arguing in the street, and walls thin enough to hear the neighbors talking. Stayed in my flat longer than they should have. I carried them across London twice without making the call. By then I'd looked at them so often, I knew every mark by memory, every corner, every measurement. I wasn't worried about the stone. I was worried about being wrong. Months in the jungle, weeks spent measuring it, and one conversation away from finding out I'd wasted my time. The office smelled faintly of dust and old paper. A kettle balanced on a filing cabinet, a stack of journals beside the door. Nothing had changed since the last time I'd been there. He asked about the survey first, then the plants, then the river section. I don't think he expected the photographs to be the reason I'd come. He flipped through the first few quickly, the way people do when they're being polite. Where exactly did you find this?
He'd seen the photographs, the whole thing might finally settle down. A second opinion, a better explanation, something I'd overlooked in the jungle. Then a week later, I walked into his office and found the photographs pinned to the wall. Books open everywhere, pages marked with scraps of paper, half-finished notes on the desk, 3 rulers and a cold cup of tea. I remember thinking that office usually belonged to Thomas. Now it seemed to belong to the photographs. Every time I stopped by, something had moved. Another map on the wall, another notebook on the desk, another photograph covered in pencil marks. And every time he looked slightly more tired. Lectures that month and forgot a meeting I'd arranged myself. Twice I convinced myself there was nothing unusual about the structure. Twice I changed my mind before breakfast. The measurements kept returning to the same conclusions, no matter how often I checked them. Secretary had started recognizing my voice. The second time I called, she said he was in the archives. The third time, she laughed and asked what exactly I'd brought back from that jungle. One more photograph, one more comparison, one more notebook, more map. I kept telling myself I'd finish tomorrow, then finding myself back at the desk again. By the end of the month, the photographs were worn at the corners, the notebooks were full, the maps were marked and remarked. Neither of us was any closer to an answer, but we were asking better questions than we had been before. I found the flight details folded inside a notebook years later. The paper had yellowed, but the date was still there. We left London 8 days later and headed back to the jungle.
I couldn't have said why. I reached the river crossing without thinking, and nearly missed the turn beyond it. The same heat, the same insects, the same trees pressing in from every side. Only this time I wasn't alone. I knew every difficult stretch by then, every fallen trunk, every patch of unstable ground. Thomas kept stopping to look around, at plants, at rock formations, at things I'd stopped noticing weeks before. The closer we got, the less certain I felt. I'd spent months wanting him there, then spent the last mile wishing he'd walk a little slower. The photographs had brought us this far, now there was nothing left to hide behind.
First exposed section was smaller than I'd imagined, until I noticed another and another beyond that. The measurements had been accurate, if anything. The photographs hadn't shown enough.
He barely spoke for an hour, just moved from one section to another. Notebook in hand, stopping occasionally to measure something, then moving on again.
I thought I understood the scale before I came here.
By the third day,
the clearing was larger than it had been that morning.
more roots removed,
more stone exposed.
Every afternoon
we found stone where we expected roots,
and every evening
the notebooks were heavier.
That night we sat beside the campfire, looking through the day's notes. Neither of us said very much. There was too much to think about. The day settled into a rhythm. Breakfast before sunrise, a walk through the trees, then another day in the clearing. Most evenings I'd promise myself tomorrow I'd leave a little earlier, spend some time organizing specimens, catch up on the notes. light was lower than I expected, I'd feel hungry all at once and realize we'd missed lunch again. Thomas would ask what time it was, and neither of us would know. I'd go there planning to stay an hour and somehow lose the whole day. I'd keep meaning to leave earlier and somehow never did. The camp was only a short walk away, but I was always glad to be back here, looking at the same stone as if it might tell us something new. Kept expanding, roots cut back another few feet, new sections appearing every week, exactly where we weren't expecting them. The survey should have been finished long before then. Instead I kept finding reasons to put it off another day. It started raining, hard enough to flood the lower paths. The sensible thing would have been leaving. Instead we waited beneath the canvas sheet, watching water run across exposed stone, listening to the rain, neither of us suggesting that we should go back. I kept looking forward to the mornings, that's what I remember most. The walk through the trees, the first sight of the clearing, the feeling that something important was waiting there without us, and the certainty that we'd spend another day looking for it. That night I set the alarm for dawn, then woke before it rang, got dressed in the dark and left for the clearing, before Thomas was awake. Had covered the table with maps and survey sheets, some held down by field notebooks, others by coffee cups. I remember him drawing lines across places we'd already opened, then sitting back in silence, looking at them for a while. I thought he'd found a mistake until he asked me to look. I checked the figures once myself, then reached for a different notebook. measurements, certain we'd overlook something. Neither of us could find it. I kept coming back to the same corner of the table, tracing the same pencil marks with the end of my finger. By evening, neither of us was talking about anything else. For the first time since arriving, we knew where to dig. Straight over to it, a patch of ground I'd passed more times than I could count. A few survey flags, a circle marked in white string. Nothing about it looked unusual until you knew what it meant. Checked the position twice, then asked me to check it too. I tried to get on with my work, but kept looking over instead. Every hour or so, one of us unfolded the map, then stood there staring at it, as though it might say something new. I kept coming back to the same corner of the table, tracing the same pencil marks with the end of my finger. By evening, neither of us was talking about anything else. For the first time since arriving, we knew where to dig. Were still there that night, exactly where we'd left them. I looked at them before sleeping. Then once again from the doorway, and when I finally turned out the light, I already knew I'd wake before the alarm, thinking about that circle. We started before sunrise, at the point we'd marked the evening before. The string was still stretched between the stakes, exactly where we'd left it. My tea sat beside the trench, growing cold in the morning air. Before I'd remembered it was there, we'd already reached stone. first, something we'd photograph, then walk straight past the next day. But more of it appeared each hour as the soil was carried away. By midday, Thomas had stopped looking at anything else. We planned to stop for lunch. The sandwiches stayed in the bag. Every time I looked up, Thomas was beside the stone. The string still crossed the clearing where we'd stretched it the day before. The camp was only a short walk away, but neither of us mentioned it. Then knelt beside one corner and brushed away the soil. I remember looking at him before I looked at the stone, because he'd stopped brushing and was simply staring. Appeared where I'd been certain it ended. Every hour or so I'd wander back towards it, usually finding some excuse to stay longer than I meant to. We planned to stop for lunch. The sandwiches stayed in the bag. Every time looked up, Thomas was beside the stone. The string still crossed the clearing where we'd stretched it the day before. The camp was only a short walk away, but neither of us mentioned it. Beside the string markers, Thomas joked we'd find New York underneath it. The slab marked Tualuk. I told him after 6 months in the jungle, Martians sounded more likely. I heard birds somewhere behind me and realized it was morning. The same cup still sat beside the trench where I'd left it the day before. Thomas was still beside the stone. opening. We watched the light descend until it became a distant glow.